Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the garden. It's been 2 weeks since my last update, and for the most part it's been dry. But a few days ago we did get a couple hours of torrential rainfall. So let me go through the garden real quick and just show you everything. Here's the divine Clementine. It's been flowering for maybe 3 weeks now. And the terps on her are mostly orange. Early on I thought I could also smell a little bit of cream in there, but it's tough to tell this early on. But very beautiful growth pattern. It's probably going to be real easy to trim her. And you can see here's a yellow leaf that the plant is cannibalizing for the mobile nutrients. But for the most part, the leaves are pretty green, no signs of deficiencies. If anything, they're just a couple bugs out here. And the plant has been selectively pruning some of the unproductive fan leaves, as you can see right there. But here's the stem. It's pretty thick. It's maybe 2 inches at the base, and you can see where it splits there. She's a thick girl. And the canopy is pretty clean. About 10 days ago I went through each of the plants and I removed all of the weakest growth in there, because I'm willing to trade some productivity for not having to trim a ton of larvae or a ton of immature buds, because those immature buds take the longest to trim, and I already know I'm going to have my hands full. But that's enough about the divine Clementine. Let's move on to the Susie Diamond. And this plant finally is showing some of her flavors. The trichomes on her seem a little bit shorter than on the divine Clementine, but the growth pattern is pretty similar. She seems to be a hybrid, but the cola structure seems to be mostly sativa. And let me pinch some of the trikes off. She smells mostly like cherry, maybe slightly grapey, a little bit like jelly. Very pretty plant. Here you can see some leaf damage from a pest, but for the most part these leaves are relatively damage free. So let me get under this girl, show you the base stem. This is a beautiful stem structure. As you can see, the main stem goes straight up, but all of the side stems are almost the exact same size. There's not a lot of difference in the width of the stems from the main stem to the side stems, and that's what I like about this plant. It's very bushy, and she's pretty clean in there, although you can see a couple brown leaves that I can remove in the future days. Very beautiful plant, very clean. 10 days ago, as I said, I removed all of the unproductive stems, but I really like her. Moving on to the blue Moonshine times Gwiz plant. This is the plant that started flowering before all of the other plants. And as you can see, this girl is getting thick quick. She's a thick girl. Let me quickly show you the stem early on. This is a thick stem. Look at that. This stem is definitely bigger than the other stems. Very, very beautiful. She's a big girl. But she's the shortest one, which is also interesting. As you can see, it's mostly clean, although there are a couple brown leaves that the plant has cannibalized. because they're in the interior and not getting a lot of sun. So the plant says, you know, let me get those mobile nutrients and transfer it somewhere else. But she's mostly clean. I probably could have cleaned her up a little bit more than I did. But this is a bigger cola structure. This is maybe week 4 for this plant, because she's about a week ahead of the other plants. And the bud structure is already pretty dense. I did come out here earlier today and find one of the top buds was molding at the top. I couldn't find a caterpillar, although there may still be one lurking in the garden, but I just cut it off right there because it seems that was the best place to cut it. But as you can see, all in the back, the buds are not quite as far along. Moving on to the final plant, and in terms of smell, this is probably my favorite one, although this is probably going to be the least productive one. But I really like the bud structure on these. Spear-like. These are going to be easy to trim. Even though they won't be the biggest, I don't expect. I think they're going to be beautiful. And the terps on this one, very, very interesting. I can't even explain it on this, but it's delicious. So Albino Fire Skunk OG, definitely not the most vigorous grower, but she is a very interesting smelling girl. I honestly can't even explain what it smells like, but she smells really good. Colas here are really tiny, really thin, but it's going to be a breeze to trim it, and she is a beautiful girl. She's probably slightly the tallest plant in the garden. Let me get under there and show you the stem, but before I do, remember when I first installed these stakes on the outside of the plant? Look how much she's grown since then. Probably over 2 feet, but let's get under there, show you the stem. This stem is the smallest of all the plants, and as you can see, it's pretty clean in there. There are a couple small nodes in there, but she's pretty clean. And in terms of the width of the stem, it's really not that wide. It's like 1.5 inches, but almost all of that energy is being put into some very beautiful buds. There's almost no larvae, or there's almost no miniature stuff on here, and the smell is just lovely. I could smell this strain for days. I don't know what it smells like. Maybe peach, baby powder, watermelon, or rubbing alcohol. The smell profile listed on the breeder's website for Albino Fire Skunk OG is all over the place, but I really like her, even though she is the least vigorous grower in the garden. But yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to show you how everything is progressing. I'm really happy with the garden. I've been watching everyone else's videos, and I'm really happy for everyone that's been growing. I see a lot of people that are having a lot of success with their grows this year, and I'm just happy to just be growing a nice garden as well, and just be interacting with the community, and just excited about this upcoming harvest season. So thanks for everyone who's been tuning in. I really appreciate you. I really enjoy checking out your gardens as well and hearing about all the different flavors and smells. But that's about it for this video. My next one will be probably in 2 weeks. So thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.